I've been writing or blogging for about 15 years. I started, I believe it was in 2007, 2008, when I had just moved to Malaysia and had a lot of free time on my hand after retirement. I started blogging with a travel blog on Google's Blogger. I found it very interesting, it was fun, and I earned a little bit of money. I also started another blog afterwards. This time it wasn't about my travels in Malaysia, but about politics and social issues. When we moved back to the United States, I continued blogging, but I blogged about politics, social issues, and my experiences, my life experiences. I started again on Blogger, but I wasn't getting any traction. Travel blogs seemed to get a lot of people attracted to it. Politics, on the other hand, social issues was not as easy to do. I struggled for a long time. I never got a lot of people to read my blogs. It was very difficult to promote it, and I was earning pennies. I then discovered Medium. On Medium, I really felt at first like I found a home. This was about 7 or 8 years ago. I started to make money, and a lot of money, actually. Well, for me, it was a lot of money for what I put into it. I wrote maybe 2 or 3 times a week and earned between $100 and $200 a month. But then things started to change on Medium. And I guess the mistake I made was I was making money. I got caught up in making money. I didn't start out writing to make money. I started out writing to express my views and my opinions on politics, social issues, and the like. I guess I could call myself an activist. I also like to write about just everyday events, things I've learned in my life, health, whatever. And on Medium, I was doing this, but all of a sudden, when I was getting money, I noticed I was caught up in the platform itself, writing about Medium. People would read mine writings. In return, I'd read theirs, and earn money that way. But people started writing about Medium. And I'll tell you, when I was working, I was a cytologist in a hospital. Well, even before then, as working at McDonald's or Carol's Hamburgers years ago, I don't remember anybody ever getting around and comparing their earnings, how much they earned. That was something that was private. There was no competition to see how much you could earn. But on Medium, there was. People would say how much I earned today, how much I earned this month, and I got caught up in that. And then I started writing about Medium. I don't consider myself a writer. I consider myself a retired guy who has a hobby of writing about his opinions in politics and social issues. And back in January, Medium basically fell apart. Earnings took a nosedive. People reading were not there anymore. People writing were not there anymore. I started to become disenchanted because I found myself competing with others about writing about Medium. I didn't join a platform to write about the platform. I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off because I'm saying this, but that's the way I feel. And I found that people were reading my political articles on occasion. They weren't getting much traction. I joined Substack back in the late January. And I started to enjoy it. It was after I got the hang of it. And I enjoyed writing, and I enjoy making videos like this. On Substack, people actually read my articles. They commented on them, and I was getting traction. On Medium, I got 2 or 3 reads, 4 or 5 views, and that's about it. And on Medium, you write an article on Tuesday, by Thursday it's history, it's gone. While on Substack, you write an article and it stays in the public eye for a number of days and even weeks. Now, I'm not making any money on Substack because I haven't offered any paid subscriptions as yet. But I don't care. People are reading. I'm getting traction. I'm sharing my thoughts. People are sharing their thoughts and their comments. I've tried to go back to Medium, but I don't have the interest. And I know there are some people who were on Medium, who are still on Medium, writing about Medium, are now on Substack writing about Medium. So I've decided I'm leaving Medium. I've met some very nice people there. I've enjoyed it, but I'm not going to get caught up in writing about Medium. I don't care if I make a penny, 2 pennies. I don't care about the money in Medium because I just don't care about it anymore. I've lost the enthusiasm. It was fun while I was there. Maybe someday it'll return to what it was before. But now I'm going to particularly stay with Substack. And if I make money, fine. If I don't, fine. I just like to make enough money to help pay for the Grammarly app that I use because I'm not the best when it comes to grammar and punctuation, so that does help me. So if I could make enough money to pay for that through either donations or whatever, then I'll remain here for free. Otherwise, I may go for paid subscriptions to see if I could cover my expenses there. But that's my 2 cents. I don't know if you agree with me, my fellow Medium writers or former Medium writers or not, but that's the way I feel about Medium. That's the way I feel about Substack. So let me know your comments, how you feel about it, what your thoughts are about writing on Substack or writing in general. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.